My beloved child, listen closely because what I am about to share with you tonight is not something ordinary. This message found you for a special purpose. Out of millions of people scrolling endlessly through their screens, somehow your eyes stopped right here. That was not a coincidence. And before this message comes to an end, you are going to understand why someone in your life has been acting distant, uncertain, and quiet, yet unable to completely walk away from you. Do not skip ahead. Stay until the very end, because something significant is waiting for you. There is a person, a very specific person, who cares about you far more deeply than you may realize right now. They think about you when everything around them becomes still and silent. They replay your words in their mind again and again. They search for signs from you without even admitting it to themselves. And yet there is one thing holding them back, one thing they are struggling to fully accept. It is connected to your appearance in some way. But before your heart rushes toward fear, and before your mind begins creating painful stories, listen carefully to every word, because the truth is much deeper than what you might assume at first. This is not about perfection or the beauty standards the world constantly pushes on people. This is not about becoming what others told you to become over the years. No, this is about something much more emotional, something hidden beneath the surface. If you have ever felt that someone pulled away because of the way you look, understand this. The surprising part, the thing they struggle to accept, is actually the exact thing making them fall for you more deeply with every passing day. Yes, you heard that correctly. Stay with this message, because the next few moments may completely change the way you see yourself. This person notices things that nobody else notices about you. While others see your smile, they notice the sadness quietly hidden behind it. While others hear your laughter, they sense the exhaustion beneath it. While others glance at your appearance for only a second and move on, this person studies every detail as though it carries meaning. And that frightens them, because loving you feels dangerous to their heart. You carry a presence that reveals emotions in people without even trying. You make others face truths they have avoided for years, and the feature they struggle with is not really physical at all. It is what that feature reveals about you at a deeper level. Maybe it is the tiredness in your eyes that reflects everything you have endured. Maybe it is the way you conceal your pain behind confidence each day. Maybe it is the quiet insecurity you believe nobody sees. But they saw it all. Yes, they noticed everything, and it affected them more deeply than you know, because they were never expecting someone like you to enter their life so unexpectedly. They were prepared for temporary connections, surface-level conversations, easy emotions, and predictable people. Then you appeared, and suddenly nothing felt simple anymore. There are nights when this person stares at your photos much longer than they intended. Not because they are judging you, but because they are trying to understand why your face awakens emotions they cannot easily explain. One part of them wants to run toward you with open arms. Another part wants to protect itself because your appearance carries honesty, authenticity, vulnerability, and realness. And real things frighten people who have spent their lives hiding behind masks. Listen carefully because this next part matters. The thing they struggle to accept is not that you are imperfect. It is that you are genuine in a world that often feels artificial. Do you understand how rare that is today? In a world filled with filters, performances, fake confidence, forced smiles, and temporary affection, your appearance reveals authenticity. And authenticity forces people to confront themselves honestly. That is why this connection feels so intense. That is why they draw close and then suddenly pull away. That is why their energy seems to shift without explanation. Every time they look at you, they feel something they cannot fully control within their heart. And what happens next may surprise you. One day, very soon, this person will stop fighting the feelings they have been trying to suppress. The walls they built around themselves are beginning to crack, slowly, quietly, and emotionally. But before that moment arrives, something unexpected is about to happen between you. A conversation, a glance, a silence. A moment that appears small on the outside, yet feels life-changing on the inside. And when it happens, you will finally understand why they behaved the way they did for so long. Because deep down, they were afraid. Afraid that loving you would expose their own insecurities. Afraid that your honesty would uncover emotional wounds they have carried for years. Afraid that someone as genuine as you could truly see through every layer they tried to hide behind. You are getting closer to the truth with every word. This person remembers tiny details about your appearance that even you may have forgotten. The way your expression changes when you are trying not to cry. The way your eyes avoid contact when you are hurting inside. The way your face softens when someone finally understands you. Those details replay inside their mind constantly, and they dislike how powerless it makes them feel, because they wanted control over everything. But love never asks permission before entering a person's heart. It arrives unexpectedly, quietly, powerfully. And now they find themselves trapped between resisting you and fully embracing what they feel. But here comes the revelation nobody expected. The very thing they struggle to accept about your appearance is connected to a wound from their own past. You remind them of emotions they buried long ago. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence awakens feelings they believed were gone forever. That is why they stare sometimes in silence. That is why they suddenly become quiet around you. That is why they seem emotionally overwhelmed whenever you are near. It is not rejection. It is emotional fear mixed with undeniable affection. And the moment they finally accept this truth, everything begins to change. Their silence changes, their energy changes, their actions change. Because deep within themselves, they already know they cannot replace you. Nobody else carries your energy. Nobody else makes them feel seen the way you do. Nobody else reaches their soul this deeply. And even though they are struggling right now, their heart has already begun choosing you in quiet ways. There is a reason you came across this message tonight, a reason your spirit needed to hear these words. You have spent too much time questioning your worth because of appearance-related insecurities. Too much time believing that love belongs only to people who appear perfect on the outside. But genuine love does not begin with perfection. It begins with recognition of something true. And this person recognizes something rare within you, something unforgettable, something impossible to overlook. That is why they keep returning emotionally, even when they try to create physical distance, because your presence remains with them, even in silence, even in distance, even in denial. And tonight, whether you realize it or not, a shift has already started. The connection between you is slowly changing. Their resistance is weakening. Their emotions are becoming stronger with each passing day. And very soon, they will be forced to make a clear decision. Continue hiding from these emotions, or finally admit the truth they have been resisting all along. That they love you completely and sincerely. Not despite the thing about your appearance they struggle with, but in many ways because of it. And when that realization fully reaches their heart, it will become impossible for them to look away from you ever again. There is something they have never spoken out loud, something they conceal every time they look at you a little too long. And tonight, you are finally going to understand why. Do not skip any part. This person acts normal around everyone else, calm, composed, and seemingly unaffected by everyday events. But when it comes to you, their emotions lose balance completely. Their thoughts become louder inside their mind. Their heart becomes restless with feelings they cannot easily explain. And the strangest part is that it all begins with one detail about your appearance that they cannot stop thinking about. Not because it pushes them away, but because it draws them in too deeply. This connection is much more powerful than you realize right now. Every time they see you, something inside them changes. They notice details that nobody else notices. The softness in your expression when you pretend everything is fine. The hidden loneliness behind your confidence. the silent emotions your appearance reveals without saying a single word. And it frightens them because they know this is not ordinary attraction. This is emotional recognition on a deeper level. Stay with this message because the next revelation may leave you speechless. There are moments when this person tries to convince themselves they can move on from you. They distract themselves with other responsibilities. They keep busy to avoid thinking. They force themselves into conversations with other people. But somehow, every path leads back to you again. Why does this happen? Because your appearance carries a feeling they cannot replace. Not perfection, not fantasy. Reality in its purest form. You feel real to them. And genuine love is rare in this world. Do you know what scares people the most? Not rejection, not distance, not silence. It is finding someone who truly reaches their soul. That is what happened when they met you. Your presence touched parts of them they believed nobody would ever understand. And now they cannot escape it, no matter how hard they try. Pay attention. Something important is waiting ahead. This person remembers the first moment they truly noticed you. Maybe you thought it was ordinary. Maybe you believed nothing meaningful happened that day. But for them, everything changed. Because in one brief moment, they saw something in your appearance that felt painfully familiar to their heart. A sadness, a gentleness, a quiet strength. And suddenly, without warning, their heart became emotionally attached to you. That is why they watch you differently from everyone else. That is why their eyes hesitate sometimes. That is why their energy changes around you without explanation. Because your appearance awakens emotions they buried years ago. Listen carefully, because this next part matters more than you realize. The thing they struggle to accept is connected to how deeply they already care about you. If they did not love you, none of this would affect them so strongly. But it does. Every single day. And they work hard to hide it from everyone around them. Sometimes they pull away because your beauty feels too emotional for them to handle. Not beauty in the ordinary sense, but emotional beauty. The kind that cannot be fully explained with words. The kind that stays in someone's thoughts at midnight. The kind that returns during moments of silence. The kind that changes people forever. Stay until the end, because what happens next may surprise you deeply. Very soon, this person is going to reveal emotions they have been hiding for a long time. Not directly at first. It may come through a small action, a message, a look, a moment of honesty they never intended to show. But when it happens, you will finally realize something remarkable. They were never judging your appearance. They were fighting their own emotions. They were trying to protect themselves from becoming vulnerable, because deep down, they already know you are different from everyone else they have ever met. And once someone realizes that truth, there is no easy way back. This person secretly worries that you do not fully understand your own value. They notice how hard you can be on yourself. They notice the insecurities hidden behind your smiles. They notice the moments when you avoid attention because you fear being misunderstood. And every time they see that, their feelings become stronger. Because your imperfections make you human, and your humanity makes you unforgettable. Do not stop now. The biggest truth is still coming. Late at night, when everything becomes quiet and still, this person thinks about one question over and over again. What if I lose them? That question follows them more than they admit. Because despite their confusion, despite their fear, despite their emotional resistance, their heart already chose you, and they know it. That is why your appearance affects them so deeply, not because it is flawed, but because it carries emotional honesty they cannot ignore. You remind them that love is not about looking perfect. It is about feeling understood. And you make them feel understood in ways nobody else ever has. The distance between you is not permanent. The silence is not permanent. The confusion is not permanent either. A turning point is approaching, and when that moment arrives, This person will stop pretending they are unaffected by you. They will stop hiding behind emotional walls. They will stop running from the connection you share. Because some people enter your life for a season, but others enter your soul forever. And whether they admit it now or later, you have already become unforgettable to them. That is the truth. They can no longer escape it. You were never supposed to hear this truth so soon, but the signs have become impossible to ignore. There is a person watching your silence more carefully than your words. A person pretending to remain emotionally distant, while secretly becoming more attached to you with each passing day. And tonight, the hidden reason behind their behavior is finally beginning to surface. Do not skip. Stay until the end, because something significant is waiting for you. This person has tried everything to control their feelings. They told themselves it was temporary. They convinced themselves they were imagining the connection. They tried to focus on logic instead of emotion. But every time they see you, everything falls apart again. Because there is one thing about your appearance they cannot emotionally escape. Not because it bothers them, because it reaches them too deeply. And the surprising truth is that they are afraid that if they fully accept how much you affect them, they may never be able to let you go. Yes, that is the secret they have been hiding. Listen carefully now. Every time you walk into a room, this person notices the shift immediately. It is no longer something they do intentionally. Their eyes search for you automatically. Their emotions react before their mind can stop them. And what hurts them most is knowing that you probably have no idea any of this is happening inside them. You may think they are calm and collected, but inside there is emotional chaos they rarely show anyone. Do not skip ahead, because the next revelation changes everything in a powerful way. The feature they struggle to accept about your appearance is deeply connected to vulnerability. Maybe it is the softness within your eyes. Maybe it is the tired expression you carry when life feels heavy. Maybe it is the quiet sadness hidden behind your smile. Whatever it is, it awakens a protective feeling inside them. And that feeling frightens them more than almost anything else, because once someone begins caring deeply, they also risk being hurt deeply. That is why this person sometimes becomes distant without warning. It is not because their feelings faded away. It is because those feelings became too real for them to ignore. Something significant is waiting for you. There are nights when this person replays conversations with you over and over in their mind. Not the dramatic moments, not the obvious moments, the small moments. The way you looked away while thinking, the way your expression shifted for a brief second before hiding emotion again. The way your face revealed feelings your words never spoke aloud. Those moments remained with them more strongly than they expected. And no matter how hard they try, they cannot forget them, because your appearance communicates emotional truths that your voice never says directly. And somehow, they hear every one of those silent messages clearly. That is why they are struggling. They were never prepared to meet someone who feels this genuine. Life taught them to expect temporary people, temporary attention, and temporary affection. Then suddenly you arrived carrying sincerity in your eyes. And now their heart no longer knows how to protect itself. Do not stop now. You are getting closer to the biggest truth of all. This person compares everyone to you without even realizing they are doing it. They try speaking with other people. They try distracting themselves. They try convincing themselves that moving on is possible. Yet something always feels missing. Because nobody else carries your emotional presence. Nobody else makes silence feel meaningful the way you do. Nobody else leaves such a lasting memory behind simply by existing. And deep down, they know this very well. That realization is becoming harder and harder for them to ignore. But here comes the once-in-a-lifetime revelation. The thing they struggle to accept about your appearance is actually the very thing that makes them trust you emotionally. Your imperfections make you believable. Your natural emotions make you comforting. Your honesty makes you unforgettable. And in a world filled with people pretending to be flawless, You feel human. You feel real. You feel safe. That is why they keep returning emotionally, even when they try to pull away physically. Because their soul feels calm around yours. Because your presence gives them something they have searched for without realizing it. A sense of emotional truth. A sense of connection. A sense of understanding. This person is reaching a point where hiding their feelings is becoming more difficult than expressing them. The signs are already beginning to appear. Their behavior is changing little by little. Their attention toward you is growing stronger. Their emotional walls are slowly breaking down. And when the truth finally comes out, you will understand every confusing moment that happened between you. You will understand why they stared a little too long sometimes. Why they became quiet without explanation. Why their energy felt intense whenever you were near. Why they kept returning emotionally no matter how much distance existed between you. It was never indifference. It was never a lack of feeling. It was never ordinary attraction. It was a deep, emotional connection they could not fully explain, even to themselves. And now they are reaching the point where hiding it causes more pain than admitting it. Do not skip this part. Something meaningful is waiting ahead. This story is not ending in distance. It is not ending in confusion. It is not ending in unanswered questions. It is moving toward clarity, toward emotional honesty, toward the moment when this person finally stops fighting what their heart has known for a long time. That you became important to them in a way nobody else ever has. And once someone reaches that level of emotional attachment, nothing remains the same afterward. The heart does not easily return to what it was before. Because some people enter your life quietly. They arrive without grand announcements, without dramatic beginnings, without warning. Yet somehow they leave permanent marks upon your soul. And that is exactly what happened here. Whether this person admits it today, tomorrow, or weeks from now, there is one truth they can no longer escape. They already know it deep inside. They already feel it every time they think about you, every time they remember your smile, every time they replay a conversation, every time they wonder what you are doing, every time they try and fail to forget. The truth remains the same. Loving you changed them. Not in a small way, not in a temporary way, but in a way that quietly reshaped their heart. And no matter how much they tried to resist it, deny it, or hide from it, that truth continues growing stronger with every passing day. Because some connections are impossible to replace. Some feelings are impossible to silence forever. And some people become unforgettable long before anyone finds the courage to say it aloud. That is the truth they are finally beginning to accept. And once they fully accept it, everything between you begins to change.